Alright, I'm alive! And that camera is reasonably centered. Alright, excellent. And I need to turn my own music down so I can hear myself. What is up, everybody? It is Wednesday night. As always, Wednesday night is Dungeon Masters of Entrath, the Hex game show. Tonight is Stigma Buster sharpening his sword, getting ready. I like it. So, this is our second evening with the Labyrinth of Evil dungeon, which is the biggest dungeon I've ever put together for this. So I'm going to throw up the map here and give everybody the brief, beginning of show explainer in case this is your first time. You can also type !rules in chat to bring up a print version of the rules to review at your leisure. In Dungeon Masters of Entrath, I take on the role of Dungeon Master. I have designed a series of encounters for people to beat in the name of trying to win some prizes here and have some good times with non-conventional decks. You know, not the sort of things you'd see if you're playing in Limited or trying to get up the constructed ladder. Matches are best of one. If you lose at any time along the way, your run is over, and we add something onto the prize pool. Beat every deck along the way and you win. Whatever the current grand prize is, and you can see what the prize pool is by typing in !prizes. Now for this particular dungeon, every single player starts in room 1, and once you have won, you would move on to any connected room, which would be 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then from there you're moving on down the line of connected decks. Your end goal here is to make your way to one of the 3 remaining pillar rooms. If you defeat a pillar deck, then you win the current prize pool. Once all 4 pillars have been defeated, then the deck is well and truly beaten. Last week, Adir beat one of the 4 pillars. The other 3 remain. The 4 rooms that are just kind of floating off in the middle of nowhere, 10, 11, 12, and 13, are bonus rooms. If you get to one of those rooms and defeat it, you are guaranteed a prize. And I just realized I have my wrong timed commands. I have up here. I have my Hexercise channel commands running for when I'm streaming from a treadmill, and I don't have my actual Dungeon Masters of Entrath things going. So let me enable that. Okay, that should be fixed. Deck rules. The format's immortal. Every single set that has come out is legal, but only common and uncommon cards may be used. As the Dungeon Master, I do cheat on that rule, and you will encounter some rares in some of these decks, maybe even some legendaries, to kind of provide a bit of that AI-only experience and provide an enhanced level of challenge. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm still trying to... I've done this for 18 episodes, and I'm still trying to work on a quick and concise spiel to help make sense as to what it is and how it works. Just practice will continue to make perfect on that. But I see 6 people in chat right now. If anybody has a deck that is commons and uncommons only, and the number of people who can do that easily should be continuing to grow every week as Function does his own tournaments. Let me know if you have such a deck ready and wish to challenge the dungeon. Thus far, it's basically been anybody who speaks up in chat and lets me know that you have an eligible deck and you wish to participate has been able to go. As the stream gets larger and there's more and more people, then I may have to go into a ticket raffle system or do sign-ups in advance. But so far, just show up and throw down has worked. So Stigma Buster is the first person today to say, "I accept thy challenge," and wishes to jump into the dungeon here. So Stigma Buster, what I need from you is your in-game name minus Thrawn, so Twitch handle minus my Twitch handle minus the Omega part, and then either send me a whisper or I will send you a whisper, and we can get this show on the road. This is Raptos. Okay, yes, you were the one, I think. Yep, you were speaking up in chat here. So I can find you real easy. I'm going to send you a whisper just Let's do this. And of course, for fair play, I do always ask people have the stream muted and aren't watching what my hand is while we play. But are always welcome to pop back afterwards. And in fact, you're going to need to pop back in between games to see the map and let me know where you want to go. Oh, and I better get my grid front and center here. Since there's so many decks, I have to have a grid to remind myself which deck goes where for consistency. Okay, sending the challenge. Silver Standard 1, room 1 is the first room. Alright, so we're going to send the challenge. We're going to get this show on the road immediately with our first challenger. And if there's anybody else in line who wants a shot afterwards, let me know. There are 2 other pillars, so there's no way this dungeon is over. What a troll hand. This is better. Okay, so we've got Dread Botanist on 2. We have a Dread Apprentice at 3. May want to sit on that for a bit. We have Strangle for removal and Bulky to build up to, so this is a decent starting hand. Not the most explosive that this deck is capable of, but also far from the worst. And so Raptos has here Spiderling Eggs with Zorzum of Koru. Did not find a 3rd shard yet, but they want to fill our deck with spiders. So Runeweb Infiltrator is good for that. When it hits, that's 2 Spiderling Eggs in our deck. It's flying, so we can't really stop it. Could Strangle it. I think there's better targets, though. There's very likely better targets in a Spiderling's deck. So skitter damage, I don't see that blocking. Throw out another Dread Botanist, and we're in need of some shards. Hard to win on 2. Oh, they hit a spider and we lost 2 beautiful shards. Yeah, another... Oof. Those would have been some good draws we were denied right there. Would have been able to play that stuff pretty quickly. Alright, so we find a 3rd resource. No swing off the Runeweb. Interesting. Okay, let's sacrifice a Dreadling to make 3 more Dreadlings. And jam in with those 5. I think maybe the theory in holding that was to double block and kill a Botanist. I'm not quite sure that I want to trade one of those off yet. Especially with Strangle and Explosion in reach. Alright, Lunacy is going to cost us 5. I got 2 spiders. Oh, shard, shard, strangle, shard, shard. Yeah, this removal doesn't feel very good in the face of a lot of cheap threats. But we'll swing and try to keep some pressure going and hope that we don't get milled out immediately. And I think just pack it in here. Alright, it's this. Venom Allegiance to creates 4 spiderling eggs just for being a venom. This is minus... Yeah, we're gonna say nope. I don't like you having something with a 4 on the back end on the table. And that's not even close to playable. This takes 8. Alright, so I guess we just swing with our dreadlings. Let's see which wins faster. Dreadlings or Spiderling Egg / Deck Destruction. What is up, It's Kit? How are you doing tonight? We have a gorgeous day here. So gorgeous I feel a little bit guilty about streaming, but always happy to do some Dungeon Master shenanigans, and the weather's supposed to be good tomorrow too, so the computer's going to be off tomorrow. We have our first challenger of the evening in Raptos, who's coming at us with some dreadlings. Cooking dinner and the wife should be home any minute. Cooking something good, I hope. I had some sushi for dinner, not made myself, because I'm certainly not particularly talented in that department. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and butcher that just to try to stem the tide of eggs. Do the little dreadling swing again. Twisted Fate, whenever you draw a card, bury the top card of my deck. Brats, homemade fries, steamed broccoli, and cauliflower. Oh, you're making me hungry again. Being on a diet is rough because talking about food always makes me hungry. But the good news is I somehow lost 3.5 pounds last week, which is a half a pound a day, which is insanity. And then I'm down 11 in total. So the exercise, the smart eating and the exercise are having massive benefits. Alright, so we are not drawing shards or anything that really impacts the board right now. I don't want to exportion a spider. Oh, I needed that shard! I really needed that shard. 2, 3, 4 wild shards in the threshold in the crypt. Eggblight Stalker, when it becomes blocked by a troop, that troop gets -1. Now there's a better explosion target. Alright, so we're going to take it like a champ. We'll slap down to Dread Factory, although that means I can't explosion. Boy, this deck is not showing up at the moment. And what do we lose? We lose a Probed War pair. Okay, that's fine. We couldn't play that anyway. Oh my god, our board is naked. Well, let's not forget to take the counter there. And now the beatings begin. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's a 2-turn clock. Versus 8. Ha! Shoku's Garden. So the wild shards never wanted to come. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's exactly lethal. So might as well poke for 3 for pride because we are dead. Lost a Well of the Ancients. That would have helped. That would have helped get some threshold stabilization. Most of the early decks don't have much for rare tech besides the shards to help with thresholds. Alright, so deck 1 has fallen. So we will cancel out of this here. And I'm going to pull up my chat again. So Raptos is moving on, and here's the dungeon map. So they have the choice of rooms 2, 3, 4, or 5. There's no real logic to the numbering. I just kind of did what was close, and then I started kind of corkscrewing around in a clockwise pattern. Alright, so just let me know where you want to go from here so I know which deck I need to pull up. And then we'll carry on. Kind of sad that room 7's out of business already. I like the Avatar of Sapphire. That's my Daughter of Stars deck. That actually did get a board wipe with the charge power on somebody. Okay, well I can send. Well, I suppose you need to see the map though still, but okay, I appreciate the notice that you're gonna need a little bit of time. I know that can be a system resource thing, and you are not the first person to let me know that you've had that particular issue. Going number 3. Okay. Let's take the map off screen. I know which deck room 3 is. I will send you a challenge. Sounds good, Kit. Catch you when you're back. And also a reminder to those not currently challenging the dungeon, you are allowed to use multiple decks in the dungeon if you so desire, as long as all of the decks meet the rules of being common and uncommon cards only. You could switch decks between every single room in the dungeon if you were so inclined. Or use one deck for all. It's really personal preference. Alright, so this is going to be interesting because we're playing spiders and we're playing spiders versus deck destruction. And this will be fine. Not the strongest hand, but we do have the Chronic Madness Train. We have a Frostbite in here to stun some things that are coming in. We have a Time Ripple as well to delay what they want to be doing. Alright, Windborne Ascension on turn 1 is going to create a 3-cost Underworld troop with flight for them. Verdict of the Ancient Kings, so we have some measure of control. or another measure of control for some countering. We took away a shard, a hatchery, tormentor, a rune web, and a lunacy. Alright, so this is kind of an unexciting hand right now, but we'll get there. We took away... ooh, that was good timing. Got rid of Azure Fang Decree and Lunacy. Solid hits. Alright, when you gain a charge, bury the top 2 cards of each opposing champion's deck. So... no, that's my game. Get out of here. Alright, we have Spawn of Otheag. When this deals damage to an opposing champion, bury the top card of their deck. If there's 10 or more in there, we bury 5 instead. So they're at 7, so we're already getting... we'll be able to get them at 9. Next turn off the charge power, so this gets them right into the territory where it's going to start hitting for much bigger chunks. Incubation webs. Exhaust this. It gets at the start of each turn. Exhaust it. Create a spiderling egg and put it into your deck. So just kidding. We're not swinging in because we didn't have the resources to verdict that away. So instead we'll play a Dementia Daisies of our own. Play a charge to take away some cards. Use our charge power to take away some more cards. And pass it back. And again, I don't have a verdict up. Okay, Hatchery Priest is fine. This exhausts to create a spiderling egg. Oh, I'm getting punished for not keeping verdict up, but we're running out of cards in hand, so that's not going to be a problem too much longer. Alright, time to play an Azure Fang Decree of our own. 2 people can play the deck destruction spiderling egg game, and we'll throw it back. Alright, so that is a 2/4 flyer. Yep, put eggs in our deck. Again, we can play the deck destruction game too. Take out Dementia Daisies, kill, Psychic Torment, Twisted Fate. I'm gonna hold the Frostbite for now. Deck size race, 62 cards. Oh, we hit a Spiderling Egg first. That's just rude. Alright, so we lost a run of shards there and a spawn of Otheag. That was probably a favor. Beguiling Temptress. Ready target opposing troop with power less than or equal to this troop, so gets speed, so basically they can steal our toys. Does that require an exhaust? It does. So let's stun those just to buy a little bit more time. Azure Fang Decree. Man, I feel bad. We're completely dominating the spider game. We've only played one rare, which was that first Chronic Madness. This deck disparity, they're just waiting to hit some they're waiting to hit some Arena eggs. Alright, nothing fancy, just a shard, but a shard means 2 more cards. And then we'll crash in with our spiders. Might win by Spider Alt WinCon before milling. Alright, we lost Scheme. Scheme, when I'm feeling particularly nasty, makes a lot of Chronic Madnesses. And 5th Book of Daharsis to fish out the biggest threats in the deck. Or more Spiderling eggs. So that was a good hit there. Three damage taken. I don't want more eggs in my deck, thank you very much. And if anybody else is in chat and has a deck that you wish to use to challenge the dungeon, please do let me know. Got another about 2.5 hours ahead of us, so there's still lots of dungeon time. They did get a few spiders there, but they need like a Misery, I think is the card that gives everything -1/-1. That would be the out here. Also, if anybody happening to watch the show wants to sell me some gold or donate some gold, I'm running very short because I bought all the Kismet Oni packs, and I need to have some gold to be able to give away on stream. I got enough for a little bit while. I'm buying at, I'll pay whatever the reasonable rate is. I think it's about 220 to 1 if people feel like COD mailing me so that we can replenish that number a little bit. I'm in the market. Alright, so good games, Stigma Buster. When you are back in chat, well played. Tough luck on the spiders, unfortunately. Sometimes that can't be helped. So we are calling that fail number 2 on our counter, and that means another 2k gold gets added to the prize pouch. So we're at 7,000 gold, which is like all the gold I have right now. Which is why I'm going to start getting into IOU gold territory here in a minute, because I'd spend all my gold on Kismet Reserve packs, and then I didn't, I wasn't around. I usually grind gold on Monday nights while watching the General's tent, and I was not around. Yeah, you did. You had way more spiders in my deck than I had in yours. And Kismet saw fit to give me mine and give you nothing. Not exactly fair. But such is RNG sometimes. So, Stigma Buster, you are eligible to compete against the dungeon again. I never say that somebody can only play once and never again. But my general rule about re-challenges is that at least one person has a run in between, or that at least one other game is played against a human being before the same person challenges the dungeon multiple times. So if there's anybody else in the chat who wishes to fight the dungeon, speak up, let me know that. We'll go. Otherwise, my contingency plan when I lack challengers is usually to play Evo. Since Evo is best of one, I count Evo games as somebody's cooldown. And then when an Evo game has ended, if I just have one person currently active wanting to fight the dungeon, then that one person is eligible to run again. I seem to recall this Evo pool being kind of a pile and nothing terribly great, although it does have Labyrinth in it. But I'm wondering if seriously if this is just a pile of cards or if this was honestly what I thought was the best stuff for the deck. Despite the fact that there's a Labyrinth in here. I think this was a pretty wretched pool. And then I see a few more people just tuned in. This is Dungeon Masters of Entrath, our weekly Hex game show. Currently, we do not have a dungeon challenger, so if you have a deck of common and uncommon cards only, and you wish to challenge to the dungeon, please do speak up and let me know that. Otherwise, I will try to rattle off an Evo game here so that Stigma Buster is eligible to challenge the dungeon again. Our current dungeon is the Labyrinth of Evil, which has 21 different decks in it. 4 different pillars that have to be taken out to conquer the dungeon for good. I still haven't decided what I want to do for the 4 people who cleared one of the pillars on the dungeon map here. So far we only know one of those people, which is a deer. The other 3 pillars remain, and the champions who defeat them are to be determined. But once this dungeon finally falls in its entirety, I'm cooking up something special for the champions who've taken down a pillar. And it could be 4 people if if they're 4 different players. It could end up being less than 4 if one person ends up having multiple successful runs just due to lack of competition. But yeah, so speak up, let me know. There's currently no queue, except I'm operating under the assumption that if Stigma Buster sticks around that they would like to play again as soon as their cooldown is done. Alright, so we've got a cheap shot and a strangle in here. I'm gonna assume that past Thrawn thought that this was actually the optimal Evo pool and just jam some shards in here and roll with it. I don't think Renner was... I'm not married to Renner, though. Through 4, 5, 6... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 4, 5. How many shards is it? Or that? Alright, I don't like... This is one of those Evo pools where I'd borderline just auto-concede it. Crack open some new packs, but I generally don't like to do that. I want to at least attempt my games. But this Evo pool is pretty wretched. Alright, so we are playing Falcon Eye, who is bronze, has one of the Ashwood Solo sleeve is one of my favorite sleeves in the game still. I love this art. This hand is wanting for shards, but is actually relatively playable for a tri-shard deck. So gonna keep it. Ashwood Minstrel allows for some ramping up. So we're just gonna pray for some running shard draws. Sounds good. We are getting you taken care of here and getting your cooldown done so that you are eligible again. Okay, so cremate is not quick. Sadly. I might want to blast the zombie here. Although the idea of making it sacrifice into something else is awesome, but I don't know how many others there are in there. So I'm gonna fear cremate it. And pass the turn back. Because it's got, I mean, there's Shoku here, that's a 4-2. That's a 4-2 this turn if it's still alive. Relentless Zombie, see? Immediate justification. So we're actually getting our thresholds, for the most part, okay. Ashwood Minstrels. Oh, the gain of temporary resource is a one-shot. Okay. For some reason I thought it was kind of like a Lith Lyricist type thing where it had a little bit more permanence than that. That's unfortunate. But it means we could get Cut and Tail Warcaller down next turn. So now we have the thresholds. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And get down Cut and Tail Warcaller. And pass here. So we hit Shadowtail Rider and Web Speaker Evangelist. Void each action in your crypt when you play an Underworld Troop. Create a random card voided by this and put it into your hand. Which is currently only cremate. Now would be a good time for a second blood threshold for that. Okay, nope, not happening. I'm going to test the waters here. I think this gets in or gets blocked by the zombie. But if we trade, if these trade, these trade. Okay, that is going to get in. And then let's jam out Mosh Pit Gladiator. I think try to be aggressive. Probably block the zombie here. Take 6. If these are both still alive, we have the Blazing Hammer. Okay, so no swing from the zombie is a little bit surprising to me. Alright, so I feel like once again offering this trade and then swinging, and also swinging in with the Mosh Pit Gladiator. Because that's 2 Dreadlings a turn. Okay, so it just offers up the zombie. Plays Enlarge on it, which is going to make it a +2/+2. It still dies. So it's just a different trade. And I feel like I'm going to make it so that for future reference here, Mr. Burly Botanist can't block. And let's get our Shadowtail Rider down. Playing Shogu for another bot. Alright, what are you? This can't be blocked with troops with power less than its power. So that is a 7/7 that we can't do anything about. Which is terrifying. I mean, there's Strangle. There's Explosive Interlude would deal 5, but we can't one-for-one take that out. That also is powerful enough to block this. So that's terrifying. I want one of your cards. Ooh, a Snarling Brave. Not the most exciting thing. That cannot block. So I'm gonna I'm gonna swing with these three. I expect the Fluffy Tail is gonna block the 5/1. And then we can take it out with with probably the Explosive Interlude. Yep, okay, so that's the expected block. Explosive Interlude will finish that off. And that leaves us with a Valor. And no worries about a 7/7, but we just lost our best offensive weapon. Let's see if they decide to let these both through. They don't. Okay, so that's 5. Yeah, you know what? That was I should have swung with that too, and then they'd be at 4, and then we have lethal, and then it's GG. I don't think it matters. Wow, that we won a game! That pile performed better than expected. Eye of Winter is the rare. When you draw a card, gain 0/1. Not the most exciting rare. Burly Botanist. Necropolis Coins. Not a super exciting pack. Kind of continues my skepticism about this Evo pool, but that's alright. It's a win. That's Stigma Buster's cooldown. Which means they are ready and legal. Ready to start again when you are. And again, if anybody else has designs on challenging the dungeon tonight, of course, please let me know. I'm about to pint of beer into the proceedings here, so that probably has a non-zero boost to your odds to beat me. But otherwise, for now, we're going to wait on Stigma Buster slash aka Raptos to let us know they are back. And I can have chat up while in... Oh, but I think that might... Would being in deck builder like this cause any problems for taking challenges? Okay, you're back. Alright, we won an Evo game. We're ready for you. Nobody else has stepped into the chat and thrown down the gauntlet and said, "I will fight you, sir." So the spot is all yours if you want it. And I realized I don't have my room light on here, so give me 1 second to shut on this or turn on this light here, and I'll be right back. I have enough natural light coming in, even though my shade is drawn, that I didn't really need that, but I think it's better for the camera just to have some balanced light. Alright. And so we always start at room 1. Alright, let's go. H, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, SS, room 1. Challenge is sent. Stigma Buster taking their second crack at the dungeon tonight. And I'm leaving up that let me know if you want to challenge the dungeon tag, since we don't have any queue of challengers at the moment. This is a little slow because we have a Dread Apprentice but nothing to feed it. But we do have removal here, and we have most of our threshold problem in check automatically. So this is a workable hand. Alright, so we play Shard Pass. I realized this whole stream I haven't had the song titles on stream, so let's fix that. I'm not sure why those got turned off on this channel. Just play a Blood Shard again and have Strangle up. We're gonna end up eating some eggs here, I think. Alright, so there's 3 off the champ power. This will be another 2. I want to be conservative with the Strangle and not... Devoted Infuser. Flight. Shift at the start of each opposing champion's turn. Ready this. That is... Okay, that's what came off of Windborne Ascension. I was like, that seems like an odd card to main deck. Yeah, it's because it's a conscript hit. Okay, that... I'm going to Strangle. Feels bad not to get the Dreadlink value off of this guy, but I don't want to turtle against a growing mass of eggs forever. Let's have at least one offensive threat on the board to make them think about. Ooh. Psychic Torment, a chaos-touched constant. When we're dealt damage, we have to lose a card for every point of damage dealt. So they're throwing in eggs. And we need to stop drawing running shards. Get out of here. First time around, this deck could not draw any shards. This time around, we can't draw anything but shards. Yeah, that would have been 3 more shards in a row, too, for the Dread Factory and the Burly Botanist. And another shard. So it actually feels quite good to draw a Probe War pair. We have Charge Power online. Next turn we could Explosion to buff everything up. And then probably swing with the team. And of course we hit an egg, which is a bummer. So let's nerf you. To make you a much less valuable blocker. Buff the troops. Alpha Strike. So that was kind of a one-trick pony, because it's going to take us a long time to get to 8 charges again. Another Psychic Ascension. So Spiderling, 1 hit's worth 2 cards. Could not find any spiders again. We lost Strangle and Butcher. Although we didn't need them. Clicky. So that should be lethal there. Tharaz got the explosiveness off this time. Fared better. Alright, so let's run to the prize list, and we need to add a rare to the prize pool. So let's see here, from the rare queue, which I have made myself in advance so I don't have to go fishing through the prize, my rare stack every time. We're going to add Rollicking Reveler to the prize list. GG Stigma Buster. That time the Tharaz deck just really had all the shard drops at the beginning, and then managed to start finding the removal it needed, and then was able to make a couple explosive swings to seal that one out. So GG's. We still do not have anybody yet tonight. Who else besides you who wishes to throw down? I'm going to take a very quick AFK to use the bathroom here. And then, if nobody else has spoken up, then I'm going to jump back into that Evo queue so that Stigma Buster, you are cooled down, and then have another opportunity to play if you are so inclined. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I'm going to turn the camera back on. Yeah, it's odd, Stigma Buster. This is an unusually silent week. I mean, 1 week ago was the first Wednesday following the Friday update, and we were not hurting for challengers. It was a constant stream of competition the entire evening. I know a couple of the show's regulars who frequently show up to challenge the dungeon have other things going on tonight. So there's a few faces I'm used to seeing around the channel that I knew would not be around tonight just due to other things, because obviously life happens and people are going to go and do fun things like see Wonder Woman and have a life, and that's totally cool. I respect that. I'm just kind of surprised that 2 weeks out from the Friday update, it's become quiet. But I've been doing this since February. We're coming up on. We're going to be getting close to. Let me see here. Next week. Next week will be basically the 4-month anniversary of the stream. So we're going to keep on keeping on. I know the prize pool is not the largest or the most hype due to my extremely limited entertainment budget, frankly. But I provide what I can, and any donations thrown my way will definitely be thrown into the prize pool as well to sweeten the deal. Okay, so wild, that's diamond. Call that the beer effect. Still not that great. 2 Talent Keep Watchers is alright. A Decree of Banishing, but I'm not wowed enough by this to suddenly make a shard shift. Ruby didn't gain anything worth talking about. How'd Blood fare? We do have a Blood Bearer, but I don't know that this is like a high death turnaround deck. We have an Eager Lackey, which doesn't do anything but fish is something we'd rather be playing. What's the other shard? Wild? I don't think anything from that pack helped. We're just gonna roll with this as is. Thanatos. Alright, this hand's a keeper because we have Roidbot in here to gain a threshold of our choice, so basically we're able to do anything. So it could be... I'm a little torn about playing Rust Bucket Distractor on 2. It's so much nicer to be able to scrounge that to prevent one thing from being able to block. Alright, so we have a second blood, so we know we don't need blood. So we're going to go ahead and grab Wild now. Swing for 1, and now we have guaranteed Thorn Pup next turn. So now Dread Botanist was good because Botanist can go before Rust Bucket to give us something worth, give us a Dreadling that we can scrounge off to the Rust Bucket to prevent something from being able to block. Alright, Alright, so they are going to use their extra resource for a Lava Shaper, which probably murders Thorn Pup. We can afford to take one. Play the Dread Botanist here and hold up on 2 here for a Strangle to try to take out the Lava Shaper. Yeah, well, screw you too. Take away each other's toys. Alright, so I suppose I take one again. Alright, find us a bomb. Find us a bomb. Not a bomb, but a perfectly playable card. Alright, I'm holding on to Rest Bucket Distractor as a combat trick of sorts. If that swings in again and only one troop is played, we can stop something from blocking. So that something would be that exact troop. So we're going to get Stalagmage to, barring removal, unexhaust at least once. Alright, so 5 is a good place to be because our curve tops out at 5. That is a Rock Slider. Alright, Pack Hunters lets us make 4 copies of something and put them in our deck, and they all get stronger. What do we want 4 copies of? Surging Wildfire? Do we want 4 copies of Surging Wildfire? That seems good. Or Mosh Pit Gladiator? Mosh Pit Gladiator can't block. This double dips. It's got to be one of these two. HG speed. God, I think Mosh Pit Gladiator might be better. But does it get the gems though? I'm a coward. I'm going to take Surging Wildfire because I know that's not going to get hurt in this deal. And I'm kind of 2 for 1-ing, but whichever one of these gets, if he blocks with either one of those, Cremate finishes the deal. Get out of here, you filthy Rock Slider. Which, by the way, if I can toot my own horn for a second, this card was my one Scars of War spoiler that was... This was spoiled on a Dungeon Masters of Entrath stream weeks ago, leading up to the release of the set. The one and only card I've ever spoiled, but it felt good. So that card holds a special place in my heart. Alright, so they are repaying the you can't block. God, this is the battle of the decks that don't want to punch very hard. They do have 5 cards though, and we're in top deck mode. And that is a 4/4 with speed. Oh my god, this doesn't have Ardent Allegiance. What a shame. It's just a 3/3. So we gotta sit here. Alright, we'll take that. I'm not gonna throw out troops in front of something that's not gonna drive me any benefit. Alright, we're gonna buff this up because we have the resources to burn. And that's gonna make that a 4/2 with speed. So even if it only gets 1 hit, it is a better one. It gives us 1 chant we can play. Death chant. When a constant enters play under your control, put a random troop from your crypt into your hand. So we could fish, we could end up getting something back. Bold move, Cotton. Alright, I'm gonna make an equally bold move and let all of that stick. Do you have 2 burns? Nope, you have a Talon Keep Watcher. You have 2. Oh my goodness. Alright, come on, Death Chant. Show me something relevant. So these do have to be, well, at least one of them has to be blocked. And that would mean the other can't swing in. They need, they're a both or nothing proposition for offense here. Alright, so we're gonna... Oh my god, it was a trap! Hashtag wrecked. Yep, we're dead. Those swing in and... okay. Diamond's favor steals it. Alright, let's back out of here. And Stigma Buster, you're eligible again. Everybody else is scared. Can't handle the Labyrinth of Evil, but you Stigma Buster, you are not intimidated. The very, very loud police sirens going on outside. I don't think I'm about to get swatted. I don't think I'm about to get swatted, but that is a lot of sirens going by in the not too far distance. Sounds good. I'll wait for you to come back in. Noble Roostosaur amongst the viewers. I'm calling you out, Noble. No, I know you're busy monitoring chat, so you can't compete, but appreciate you hanging out, Roost. It was nice to get to meet you, a fellow Star Wars nerd, way back at the Hex 100K. Alright, excellent. Then let's do this again. Fight. Two resources, 5, 6, 6. I don't want that. This is not really better, but there is a turn 1 and a turn 2. So there's a glimmer of hope. Throw down that Dread Factory. And pass back the turn. Okay, no turn 1 play. So we're in Ashoku's Garden. And just use these to get the work on getting the factory online. Spiderlings versus Dreadlings. Alright, Psychic Torment's down. Points of damage are going to start costing us cards out of our deck. This was a good draw, otherwise not a whole lot happening in this hand right now. But Raptos also indicating they're not a big fan of their hand. Two Explosions, a Dread Apprentice, and a Bulky Gone. I missed a counter there. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this now. Ven and Dex don't have speed troops. Again, Ven and Dex don't have speed troops, so this is harmless. Yeah, I think this is looking bad for Raptos. Stuck on 3, doesn't have blood. We got our engine going. 6. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. That was a bummer. Tough luck on those draws. Alright, so the prize pool is at 9k gold, which is more than I actually have, so that was garbage. It happens. So we're at 9k gold in the prize pool, which is more gold than I currently have. So if a pillar falls tonight, I'm going to be on IOU status with somebody. Unless I'm able to buy some gold on stream here. Want to buy gold, 220 to 1, any amount, COD, mail, okay. We'll give it a try. Handful of blood and nothing to play with. Yeah, you are stuffing the prize pool. Your future self or any other challenger who happens to claim it thanks you for your patronage. So we still have not. It's a quiet Wednesday. No one else is. No one else has common and uncommon only decks. And I mean, Function's been running tournaments for weeks where that's the type. Like, there are decks floating out there that you can net deck off of the forums and off of people. So it's not an unrealistic deck expectation. Just not a whole lot of interest, I guess, tonight. But it's only 8:19. We still got some time. I'm going to be streaming until 10. I may wrap up a little bit sooner than that this week if there's absolutely no other challengers. But usually I run a solid 3 hours. Alright, so we'll try this wretched Evo pool again while we wait. I'm gonna refresh my own stream because I am significantly behind myself. Like, it looks like the delay is pretty long. Let's get a match. Let's get a match. Yeah, Stigma Buster, I'm kind of bummed for you, not just for the draws, but you haven't been able to see anybody else fight the dungeon tonight. I mean, I will tell you, if you go to YouTube, my user ID on YouTube is Thrawn Omega, exactly the same as on Twitch here. And prior episodes of Dungeon Masters of Entrath get uploaded to YouTube. So if you look up my YouTube channel, you will see, or I guess look through the videos on my page works here too. Take a look at last week's episode. There were quite a few dungeon runs done last week, which might give you a little bit of inspiration on some deck ideas. But otherwise, for the moment, we're waiting for an Evo game or a deck challenger while Stigma Buster's on cooldown. If all else fails and we can't get an Evo game, I will jump into the Frost Ring Arena, do a single Frost Ring Arena game, and we'll call that Stigma Buster's cooldown. because I prefer as much of the stream time as possible to be spent in competitions with people. Alright, I'm gonna make another real quick restroom run. If we have not found an opponent by the time I'm back, I am quitting out of it, and we're gonna do a quick Frostring Arena game. Alright, there is your link to deck restrictions, but basically it's immortal format, commons and uncommons only. So as long as it is not a rare card, you can include it. So that should be hopefully easy enough to remember. I like to see this. This is several times tonight seen draft at 7 of 8. So they're still drafts are still firing off at a pretty good clip. Alright, so for the Frostring Arena, we're going to have Princess Corey versus Princess Corey. I am playing a fun, kind of outdated, and I might need to update it, but a fun PvE brew that makes use of Princess Corey for fun shenanigans. And so once this match is done, either Bofity or Stigma Buster, who's ever ready to go first, can go ahead and be the next challenger. Yes, Bofity, unlimited uncommons. All the uncommons you want. So this is a Dread Technomancer. When you play an artifact, summon a Dreadling. I don't think Corey has what it takes to get that above a 1-1. Alright, so I'm actually going to do Kraken Guard Mariner first to try to give Willie Rowan some Steadfast. All the shenanigans say you gave me a Constantina, so I guess there was no point in holding up William Rowan. Troops you control can't be exhausted. Okay, that's not terribly relevant to anything Princess Corey's going to try against us. Pay 1 and exhaust this. Wow, that's actually really strong. Just keep paying 1 and working your way up the cost ladder. Why you do this? Ah, my hand was so much better. That nerfed the crap out of my hand. I should have swung with this too. Wait, that's only a one shot. One shot. When this ready, that's a garbage card. And I missed a point of damage for not playing that pre-combat. I'm scared what those are going to become. Alright, that needs to die, so Repel is going to hit that. For the inevitable swing back. We didn't lose Rowan, right? No, Rowan's still in the deck. Those are working their way up the chain. Stop making me... although drawing 3 cards there may have been a favor. For the Ardent troops you control have +1/+1, so William Rowan is even stronger. Alright, we'll play an Empowered Rally of Kings to make him even more powerful. And swing with our 7/6 William Rowan, who still cannot find his buddy. No! Corey, why you do this? Oh, Corey, I hate you so much right now. Corey! Corey, why you do this? I think we all know how this one's gonna end. Badly. Corey, no. Alright, you win, Corey. You win. You win. I will take my meager winnings and go home. 400 gold. That was not a good run. It was a pretty awful run. Alright, so Stigma Buster, I know you have a deck ready. Bofity, if you are ready and wish to go, let me know. Others, actually, just let me know when you're ready, and we'll say a Stigma Buster if you are ready again. We can have at it. Tonight's episode when uploaded to YouTube in a few days. Okay, so Bofity's still building. Bofity needs time. So Stigma Buster, if you're ready, you are on deck. You may challenge the dungeon again. When we upload this episode to YouTube, we'll call it Stigma Buster versus the Labyrinth of Evil. Alright, got to build a new deck. Let's rock. Alright, sweet. Let's see some new deck tech. Show me what you got. Nope, that's not the right deck. Just kidding. As you can see, I really want deck folders because that deck list is freakishly long to navigate. And is going to get even worse with the dungeon I have planned next. Risky. I'm going to keep it on account of Dread Botanist and Shoku's Garden here. Because we have a 2, we have a 3, but then we're kind of sitting until 5. And now we are coming up against Ada the Apparitionist. Alright, so we have Dread Botanist and Dread Botanist. And then Shoku's Guard, and that's assuming no new shards get drawn. Howling Brave. Hilltop Monastery. Sorry, beer makes me sleepy. Shoku's Garden, Shoku's Garden. All the dead dreadling value. So they're going to want to start cranking out Valors. Did not exhaust their guys to activate it this time. Oh, that is a really nice hit. 4/4 flyer for 1. That's going to be a problem. The fact that we don't have any more shards is also a problem. So the Dreadling health gain is going to kind of offset that, especially next turn, when we're gaining 2 health per dead Dreadling. And that's going to buy some time. But you know what? I'd rather just have a dead 4/4 than a couple Dreadlings this time. Still, though, we are stuck on 2. And they're going to have a Hilltop Monastery online any second now. Bring to Justice. Alright, so now we have one less Botanist even. We can't even hit a 3-drop. It is not going well this time. And there's the Hilltop Monastery now starting to crank out Valors. Let's see, that gives things that cost more than 3 +1/+1. Oh, look, a third shard. Yay! Alright, we'll deal 1 damage and gain 2 life. But this deal just keeps getting worse all the time. Alright, so they're being conservative now and just swinging in with the phantoms, which we cannot stop. Alright, 4 shards. We're starting to get closer to something relevant. One more shard and we get Burly Botanist. 2 more and we can get Bulky. Bulky really needs Dreadlings to live to the end of the turn to unleash his full potential, though. Because a troop has to be sacrificed. And Dreadlings are sacrificed at the end of turn. So probably these 2 swinging in, maybe this one as well, but that's a trade. That is to sit for a couple more turns to not trade. Alright, we'll just exhaust those now so they're not wasted. And hold. Get that delicious health. What's up, Kit? You have not missed much on the Challengers department. Raptos has made several attempts against the dungeon. Bofity is currently in the process of building a deck, but otherwise we've not had any other challengers yet tonight. Actually, why would I just exhaust 1, I guess? Totally meant to use discard effect. Feels bad, man. Ready when needed. Alright, you can be next. Going to play a little Divinity Original Sin 2 before bed. I bought the original, I haven't played the second one yet. I hear good things, though. That's probably a good game to be spending some time with. Alright, so we have an annoying health gain engine now online with the Dread Factory and the Parashoku's Gardens. Okay, so it's in early access, not out until... Okay, I thought it was out already. Not out until September. Okay, we laugh at 4 damage. We're not worried about that. But we need a 5th shard. We're just treading water here until we get a few more shards. And by treading water, I mean still somehow gaining life. Alright, so we're going to take 5. Can't find a 5th shard. Let's pop a Phantom. They're almost at their charge power again. So Raptos is 1 shard away from getting a 2nd charge power activation. And we have yet to hit 5 shards. I'm not sure which of us is the lucky one in this scenario. Because that's a lot of damage that can swing in. Okay, so that's 8. And we finally have a 5th shard. So we're just quietly trying to chip away here. We now have a charge power online. So there's a balancing act on Raptos' side of the table as to how much do they swing in with to try to hurt us in our life gain engine versus needing to leave something back in the face of explosive dreadling rushes. Oh, the health gain. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this too. And just really play with our health as a resource here. Oof. Repel takes out the Burly. I mean, we have another. Three health per Dreadling. So we shrug off all the beats. Just no worries about the hits. Oh, the Buccaneer's gonna deny us a Dreadling here for the turn. So who wins? Valor Rush or Dreadling Heals? We need Dreadling Generation more than we need the bulkies right now. And they will continue to gain 3 health per turn off of Battle Scrivener. Oof. Another Howling Plains Alpha. Alright, and that's now outside of Strangle range. These swings are going to hurt a lot. Three, 6, 9, 12 health gained. It's something, but it's not enough. I feel like we're losing this. We're losing this race. Maybe the bulkies coming down can help turn the tide. Because basically the play is just try to take the punch, counter swing. That's the dance we're in right now. I'm not even doing the math. We're taking it. That was a lot. And we don't have the charges to buff any of these. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, so close. They have to eat damage because of bulky. So we need to just not die. Well, except that we also need to maintain our Dreadlink generation, so it might still be too late here. Okay, only deals 5. Oh, I see the line. Here's a bulky. We're gonna exhaust all of these so that they can't be killed in combat. And then at the end of turn, they would each deal 2 damage, and we'd get 2 health. That matchup was insane. All the health, the constant health engine online versus some extremely punishing swings meant that it was kind of a little bit of a a little bit of tap dancing there. So we're going to add a Scars of War booster into the prize pool here. That one was a fun one. Finally, we both had some intriguing draws. The bulkies kind of held through, and then I realized that I could use the Dread Factory to basically force them to get sacrificed at the end of turn so that they deal their damage regardless of how many blockers you had. Which is fun. Usually the bulkies end up being worthless. I'm like, this could be cool, but it actually paid off there. So Bofity, if you are ready, you can be the next contestant on Dungeon Masters of Entrath. I have to be really careful when I'm hovering over chat. These little ban and timeout buttons next to people's names are too easy to click. I'm afraid one of these days I'm going to accidentally, like, ban or time out somebody for no reason just because I fat-fingered where I was trying to click around on my screen. And I believe your handles are the same for Twitch and Hex. Okay, looks like I'm right. Yep, Bofity equals Bofity. Come at me! SS Room 1, yes. Alright, so we have a Gorn of the Hell Pits. Alright, I'm not a fan of this one, but we'll take it. Hope for a wild shard draw and a few other shards early. But we have Dread Factory on turn 1. I felt like that other hand, even though it had 2 shards in it, one of which was a rare shard, which would have let us make some choices, that hand felt like a dead end to me. So I just kind of wanted to chuck it. Okay, good, a wild shard. So now we're on track for Probe Warped Hair turn 3. And depending what troops come down on this side of the board, may swing in with the Probe Warped and love this song. Thank you. I'm a huge, unapologetic Star Wars fan. So I have a lot of Star Wars music and Star Wars parody songs in my playlist. Like this one. Duel of the Fates Techno is pretty old too. I think this one was around, maybe I was in junior high or high school even. And that was not recent. Those were not recent events. Alright, let's see if you want to trade your Totemist away. I doubt you will. I've heard that, the American Pie parody. It's not in this playlist because most of the stuff in here is stuff that I know isn't copyright or isn't going to get my videos muted on, my video replays muted on Twitch or for the most part on YouTube. Whereas Weird Al, that's definitely going to get flagged and be a problem. So I've heard that song, and if not for me wanting to make sure that my videos remain viewable for people later, you know, who may not be able to watch the video live, I would definitely include it. So look at all this wide open damage. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Dread Factory is now online. Delayed gratification. But swing in with the Probe Warped Hair. You know, I probably could have held back one Dreadling and swung with one and then exhausted this. Alright, so Gorn requires blood, so this is a blood diamond deck that's not finding the blood. Yep, as soon as I say it, yep, blood please. I know that feel. Alright, so we could actually use the champ power, but not gonna, because it's more valuable in a turn. Alright, so Repel takes out another threat, and we're content to deal 2 damage. There's that blood. Alright, so we've seen 2 repels and a kill so far. Plenty of removal. Of course, wait on Explosion until there's something to hit. Silver Rook. Pay 2 and exhaust. Deal 1 damage to each opposing champion and gain health equal to the damage dealt this way. So they are playing health gain on a stick, which makes sense with the Mesa Totemist wanting to trigger that ability as often as possible. And so we have 2 forms of removal, but no targets to hit them with. No further offensive threats of our own to play. That also basically neutralizes a Dreadling, as we just saw there. So we dealt 2 points of damage and they gain 1 back. Oh no, they're going to destroy our Dread Factory. Sacrifice is a constant. So now our board is good and naked. Alright. That 22 turn clock. Just gonna give him a little bit of grief. Okay, Grim Harvester. Sacrifice another troop that deals 1 damage to each opposing champion. That is the thing we can hit with Explosion. God, just 1 beer and, like, ready to bed. If you want to see the map, then yes. Alright, so we have a bulky. We don't have any Dreadlings to feed into its ability, but we have a 5/5. Which is immediately killed. All right, so it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those games. I kill you, you kill me. We're not going to mess around with potential defense buffs. We're just going to straight kill that. I kill you, you kill me. We play this game till infinity, because I'll hit Shoku's Gardens and gain more health than that. Blood's Favor. Drawing cards or voiding the crypt? Drawing cards. So Bofity has a significant card advantage here. Not playing any troops, that's gotta be like a fistful of removal. Just for the Wilhelm scream. Ah! I mean, isn't that good? Isn't that a good enough reason? Alright, so somewhere in the next 43 cards is our offensive capability. I mean, we've had a few dead troops, but not that many. Alright, so Explosion does deal with Twilight Revenant. Because Explosion gives it -3/-3, and that gets around invincibility. So we have lots and lots of charges. It's an even ball game at 15 health apiece. Alright, since both of these in active challenge mode, I'm going to just take off the notice for now. And Bofity would make me cry if they wipe out our crypt for lots and lots and lots of health. Time to make the game long. What's up, Yukito? No, they did! He did! He ruined the crypt! Gained all that health. And we hit running shards. Somewhere in the next 40 cards can be found an offensive threat. Stigma Buster can testify that this deck is capable of occasionally doing things. Waiting for an opportunity to take another crack at this. Well, you would be up next then after Bofity, since you've not had a chance to play tonight. Alright, so we can do both, right? We can do this. And we can do this. I can't scrounge! Ah! I could have waited a turn. Well, now I'm not using the charge power. It's either Bofity or my bad draws, but something has me on tilt right now. Alright, focus. You are Tharaz. You are strong. You no longer have a Shoku's Garden. All of the removal. Corn! Stay on tilt for a while. Running shards! Stop it! Well, you realize I have to defeat somebody for you to be up. Ooh, this is interesting. Cockatwice. Life Drain and Swift Strike. And I think it has lethal by default. Shards! Such shards. Much threshold. Wow. Alright, so both of these going to be well on the path of putting us out of our misery here. Could probably even give this rage to boot. Alright, so our clock is a whole lot more real now. Basically 2 turns. Basically we're dead next turn. Just kidding. Basically, we're still dead next turn. Because this plus this equals death. That, which turns that into an 8/8 with Swift Strike. We now have 7 health and shenanigans. Alright, so the first room of the dungeon has fallen. Let's just pull up the dungeon map here in its current state. Make that a little bit bigger. Alright, so Beaufity has the option of rooms 2, 3, 4, or 5, depending on which direction they want to take through the dungeon. So let me know which deck you want to challenge. That way I can look it up on my grid here, know which deck I need to pull, and we shall move on. This is basically one of, I think, 2 decision points, because you've got your first branch, and then, for example, if you go to 2, then from there your second decision point is 10, 9, or 6 in that example. And then from there, once you're at 9 or 6, you're locked into a path for a pillar. So you have 2 different choices. All right, Beaufity wants number 5. All right, let's take it on the map. 5 is this. All right, I know what we're doing. I've got the deck. Go ahead and send me a challenge here when you are ready, because I know which deck I need to use. So funny enough, room 5 is the very next dungeon in what was the Silver Standard chain. I believe that's the only instance in this dungeon where decks are consecutive. Otherwise everything has been randomized. Alright, this is a solid hand. Determined Bushi on 2. We have a Surging Wildfire and an Iotachi Brute. Feed the Flames is some removal. This deck is going to struggle with Twilight Revenant. It's also going to struggle with the fact that we saw quite a lot of kills and repels. And our deck needs to bash the face, so gotta swing in. Tempestuous Dancer, Blade Master was one of my favorite uncommons during the Armies of Myth limited period. Pay 5 for Speed, Crush, and Steadfast. Good art. Great card. Although, in even the constructed and unconstructed, or what am I talking? Words, common and uncommon, constructed type format, it can sometimes feel a little bit slow lately, but I still like that card. Alright, so we're going to hit the Grim Harvester with our note button. And then swing in for 2, which makes Iotachi cheaper and starts powering up the fire in the holes. We got our Bushi in a box. So much removal in that deck. we have our thresholds online for this? Yes, alright. So, we know we've got at least one uninterrupted shot with this, so we gotta take it. We're in a double dip and get 5 for the swing and another 5 for the hit. And this probably gets killed, repelled, put in a box, something immediately. But we got one good punch off of it before that happened. Yep, it goes in a box. Despite all its rage, it's just a surging wildfire in a cage. One more resource gets us Tempestuous Blade Dancer, and we just have to try to keep bashing. Yeah, debt removal. So, Fire in the Hole is big enough to deal with the Corrupt Harvester. Oh, this is one of those moments. Surging Wildfire could swing in, but then we're allowing 3 health gain here. I think the play is that to get a source of life gain off the board before any health is gained, and then to swing in for an undisturbed 4. I think the way to respond to removal game as much as possible is with removal. And so we still have 2 pieces left in the arsenal. Pyre Strike can only hit a troop. Alright, so this is the moment of truth. How much can you take 2 threats off the board? This is only lethal if they both hit. So this may not be it, because they're sitting on 5 shards and 4 cards. Alright, so there's one. Repel. Repel, this could be a double dip. A psh psh of nope. Or this hits and they're done. Oh, it hits! If Surging Wildfire gets to swing, it's game over. Four cards, 5 resources. Cockatrice won't save you. We got it, fam. So how do we want to kill him? Do we want to do Fire in the Hole into Iotachi Brute? Do we Pyre Strike? Do we go for the style points? Insert that is life gain. Yeah, it's boring, but yep. Sorry, Stigma Buster. The Nightbot is still a little bit. I still have not properly shut that off. Stigma Buster gets pissy about caps. GG's Bofity. Grandfather Elk lays the smackdown. I had another Surging Wildfire in hand, so there was a little bit of conversation on which card gets played to finish it. Alright, so at 6 on the count, we add another rare to our pool. So Mad Robomancer. You not going again. Alright, so Mad Robomancer's updated into the prize pool. And Yukito. If you are ready and wish to challenge the dungeon, you are next. On Dungeon Masters of Entrath. And also, just fair warning, it's 20 after 9, so depending on how far Yukito goes, this could be the last dungeon run of the night. And Yukito, I forget what your in-game name is. So please remind me, send me a whisper, or I'll send you a whisper, and we can get this party started. Alright, Chad Halimsky. Okay, there we go. I remember that. Alright, from the top. Nope, too slow. Not great, but has potential to be relevant a lot faster. Probed Warp Hair would be the ideal 3 if we can find a wild shard. And then from there, Dread Acolyte, and then maybe that'll get the Dread Factory on by then. Alright, the Arcane Focus turn 1 play. That's not the preferred threshold. Alright, so the preferred draw now is something that gives wild. Jorgen's Workshop War Machinist. Ugh. Dang it, beer. Why you do this? Alright, so that's unfortunate. I think it's going to be suboptimal Dread Apprentice. When an artifact enters play under your control, this deals 1 damage to each opposing champion. So every time a Dreadling comes out, we have to eat a point of damage. It's a pretty good combo. Consult the talent for cards. Is this the build that Nero Genus used to win one of Function's tournaments? I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the lists, but this, I feel like I've seen this deck list somewhere before. Need a 4th shard. Two Jorgen Workshops. Oh boy, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. He did use this kind of deck. Okay, so I'm not crazy. We're pretty dead. We're really super dead. Alright, the first room is burned down by Dreadlegs. Alright, so here's the map again. Rooms 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the options. One of the 4 pillars is down, one of the 4 bonus rooms has been taken out. Otherwise, there's a lot of options still on the table here. I don't run ads, so that's something Twitch is forcing upon you. Yeah, there's 3 different pillars still up for grabs, 3 bonus rooms. And you always have 2 different paths to head towards a pillar. You can either, for example, if you're going for pillar 3, you can choose between 3 and 5 as your second encounter, but then you're kind of locked in the rest of the way. Going for room 2. Alright. Take down the map. Alright, I am ready for you. I know which room is room 2. Oh, I see. Yeah, I should have paid attention to that here, too. Challenge. Immortal. Let's do this. Ha! 2 flock of seagulls. Okay, we'll troll a little bit. I don't know that that's going to do much against burns. Fiona Honeyfinch. Troops without flight get -1 until the attack power until the start of your next turn. This room right here is room number 2. Alright, there's the Jorgen workshop to kick off the shenanigans. Burn, unfortunately, will kill flock of seagulls. I'm gonna try to be resource efficient, but feels bad, man, if that immediately gets removed from the board as well. Because it easily could in that kind of a deck. Evolution, target troop you control gets flight, and troops you control with flight get +1/+1. We want to lead on Spellstone Gargoyle. And then I think swing for 2 to pump him up. And it's gone. Oh, should have hit the charge power there. Maybe. So the grand plan of trying to power up the Spellstone Gargoyle backfired. I think it's a little bit better to just take a defensive tack for the moment. So we can shift flight and swift strike off of this. But Evolution could hit soon enough. Leave it as is. Don't have to fear a counter swing from those right now. Alright, Stern Infinitor dies. We take more damage from the Dreadling hits. So our saving grace is that Yukito is basically in top deck mode right now. So hopefully we can get some things that allow us to stabilize. But we're just going to be constantly taking passive pain from that. Alright, so Spellstone Gargoyle now into the double pump next turn. That can't use its power right now. Taking 2 damage a turn, though, just for the fact that they have a dwarf, is painful. And could cut our life expectancy short. Tactician is also a problem with Dreadlings. We'll give Cloud Shaper flight. Hard to want to be... this may be a mistake, but we're on a pretty tight clock with just the fact of Dreadlings coming into existence. Oh my goodness, seriously. Air superiority. Troops you control with flight get +1/+1. So this would be 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Would be everything, because this can give target troop you control with flight gets +2/+1. I think I want it to target itself. 1, 2, 3. 1, 4, 8, 12. Math is hard. Block, block. It doesn't even matter. We're just dead. Just dead. Alright, here's the map again. So from room 2, there's 3 options. 6, 10, or 9. Could go for the bonus room. Risk for the reward. Or head either north or south, so to speak, and make a run for one of the pillars. Going for 9. Okay, heading for one of the pillars. Okay, 9 is... Alright, got it. Got it, I'm ready. There you go. Challenge. Alright, next up is the Avatar of Ruby. Mono Ruby deck versus Dreadling generating Ruby Sapphire. We're gonna risk it. 2 burns, a baby yeti, and 2 mamas. This is fine. Needs a couple shards, but this is fine. We can burn down those dudes that do damage every time a Dreadling comes into play. There's the 3rd. Oh yeah. See the baby yeti and know what is coming for you. Well, hey, we're gonna get to 4. I'm not wasting 2 burns on 1 skittering cultivator. We'll go ahead and pass. And Benvolio, pay 4 charges, draw a card. If it's a non-resource, then you have to play it that turn or you discard it. So use it or lose it. Alright, this has summoned 2 Dreadlings. And oh, the Matriarch of Flames. This is not a 4 of in this deck, but this is one of the AI only cards you need to fear if you face the Avatar of Ruby. Because she's here and she is spectacular. And do we jam her in now? I think we do when we YOLO greed. She probably gets slapped with removal immediately. She is in Crackling Bolt range. Consults the Talon. Probably looking for it. There's a War Machinist. Okay, we're not terribly worried about War Machinist yet. I still think Baby Yeti is probably a stronger play next turn. Here comes Mama. We have another Mama, and oh, this is ruthless. So can we get comboed out first? $15. This could take us to 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. I mean, it's possible. YOLO swing. Gets us down to 2. Oh, we could have it. Oh, this is for everything. That might have done it, though. Matriarch of Flames and 2 Mama Yetis swinging in unopposed. Don't even need the card that spits out for us. So Matriarch's Ruthless. That was the only rare or legendary card that showed up here. And I want to cross-check my deck to see how many Matriarchs are in here now. Just to make sure I didn't overdo it. Okay, so Matriarch is getting swept away. Oh! But we have the burn. We have the burn. The caps. So there are 2 Matriarch of Flames in this deck. Just in the interest of full disclosure, I'm going to pull up that deck again. Because it's super powerful and I didn't want to overdo it with the rares. But you got to have some top end threat in there to bring a little sense of terror. And where's the here we go, Avatar of Ruby. So you have 2 Matriarch of Flames to worry about in there, and 2 Psychotic Anarchists for the card draw. Otherwise, everything is 1 and 2 drops that are common and uncommon. It's not a whole, I don't think with just 4 rare or legendary cards in the deck that it went too overboard, but it's definitely a crushing deck. But that was very close. We were down to 1 health. It was somebody was going to live or die that turn. That was going to be it. And so with that, we're going to add another 2,000 gold into the prize pool. So 11,000 gold in the prize pool right now. So I'm going to need to buy or grind up some gold so that I'm not in IOU mode to somebody when the dungeon falls. I was stupid, could have played Sweep Away plus Valor instead of one of the other things I did. I did no maths. Nobody wants to maths at this time of night. Math is hard. So that is gonna call it for me for the night because it's a quarter to 10. I don't want to start a dungeon run so close to when I would be signing off. But I do, of course, do Dungeon Masters of Entrath runs every Wednesday night. I start at 7 p.m. Central Time US, which is 8 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, 5 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. We run for 2 or close to 3 hours. Thanks for the games, Yukito, Bofity, and Stigma Buster. Good to have some challenges going tonight. So I'll be back next Wednesday for that. I also on Tuesdays and Fridays if I don't have social plans, but probably not this Friday because I'm gonna have friends coming over. We'll see how the timing works out. But I do Hexercise streams where I stream Hex while I'm walking on the treadmill that is behind me and to my left here, as a way to burn some calories, help lose some weight, maybe motivate some others. The schedule on that really varies because if I'm able to entertain people, that's awesome. But exercise is primarily my way of trying to get a workout in. So I basically will be streaming that mostly when I'm in the mood and in a good position for a workout, not always around a set schedule. Although I am trying to schedule it a little bit so that people can plan on that. But yeah, that's it for me for today. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and I hope you all have a good night.